Good evening and welcome to TW Miniatures. Today we are going to be looking at the Army Painter Battlefield basing set. Now, when it comes to previous model bases, I've done some bits and pieces using some stuff I've got from various places like Hobbycraft, etc. Dusty sand bits, grass bits, try to do some myself as well, but it's not something particularly that I've really paid much attention to. I've worked with a lot of Airfix, Tamiya, Dragon kits, etc. in the past, not really built dioramas with them, so this is something that's quite new to me. I'm experimenting quite a lot at the moment, doing a lot of 40k, Warhammer 40k, and obviously doing that, there's a lot of attention to detail on the bases, specifically when you get better at painting the models, and you get a little bit more detail going on, and all of a sudden you've got this kind of absence, which is the base. Now obviously when you've got quite a good well painted model, you don't really want it to just be sat on a basic black base, you want it to stand out, and of course that could be whatever you want. So what I'm going to do with this video is just have a quick overlook really and see what we've got inside. So looking at the box itself, we've got a 50ml bottle of basing glue, some brown Battleground, not really sure what that is, Battlefield Rocks, Swamp Tuft, 35 pieces of, Summer Undergrowth, Battlefield Grass, and some Battlefield Snow. I'll be quite interested really to see what the snow's like, and also maybe the scale of the rocks as well, and how maybe that could compare to different models, obviously working with different scales. So let's have a quick look. Comes quite well packed. It's actually in a bit of a smaller box than I anticipated. I paid about £13 from Amazon on this, and to be quite honest with you, I wasn't really sure what to expect, so let's just have a look. Army Painter as well, I've had a quick look at them, the range. I mean, obviously they do a substantial range of paints. I myself have not used Army Painter paints, so I'd be intrigued if any of you guys that are watching this, if you have used them, I'd be really interested to hear your feedback, on what their paints are like, and indeed what any of their other products are like. Okay, so straight away, comes in quite a neat little package. Let's have a look what we've got inside the box. So, pretty neat little package. Everything's kept nice and sealed away as well, which is kind of neat. And it does come, I mean it did say as well, it did come with this little guide as well. Some fairly detailed bits. Let's have a quick look through it. So, it's not massive, but then again, does it need to be? That is the question. I am going to do another video, of course, using the stuff on some different miniatures, varying from 40k to 135th Second World War bits as well. Okay, so it seems like it's kind of a general guide actually, not just basing. Seems like there's quite a lot of bits in here just about painting the miniatures, colours, base coats, washes, etc. That's pretty neat. I wasn't really expecting that. It's handy. Okay. Now, of course, the thing with Army Painter is that they're not, it's not like Citadel Miniatures, Games Workshop stuff, which is obviously specifically aimed at a certain, say, genre or type of miniature. It's obviously based quite, openly to any kind of miniature working. So that's where I'm kind of going with the scale thing. Could we potentially work with a 1/72nd scale on these things, or is it more based to the larger sort of 1/32nd up to the Warhammer scales, etc. So just gonna have a quick look. Open this up. Bit of a staple in there. There we go. Okay, so this is the basing glue. Previously, when I've done my own basing using various different materials, I've just used PVA, to be honest with you. Kind of be interested to see what this stuff is like. Again, I will do another video using all of these bits and pieces so we can see really how it goes. And now we go down to the nitty gritty, excuse the pun. So I'm presuming here is the brown battleground, I'm guessing. Kind of looks like old dry tobacco. Can't really work out what it is, maybe wood scratchings of some description. But it looks, yeah, dry earth, I'd say. That kind of is the go-to, I'd say. Now this stuff I'm really interested in using. This is the grass tufts. Apologies for the camera quality, the light in here is pretty rubbish at the moment. It's about 11 o'clock at night. Let's just have a quick look. I don't really want to do this, but you know what, I'm kind of one of those people that lets just jump in and have a look. Okay, it's quite strange actually, the texture of it. It's almost like fiberglass. And well, this is an old favourite, lichen. Quite useful for bushes and hedgerows, etc. Always found it a bit funny to work with all this stuff because it's very small. I know that sounds ridiculous when you're looking at things like this. I mean, you say this is small, but this is obviously like dust. But this stuff is incredibly hard to fix to a base and keep in the position that you want it to be, simply because, I mean, let's just show you, for instance, I'll pull out a small part of it. I mean, lichen obviously being an organic material as well, but you know, you've not really got a lot to work with. Obviously the small dusty parts glue down quite easily because they're very small. Here, you know, you've got these really small little tufts. There's not really much to go with, so you glue it down, but quite often I've found in the past it kind of pulls away from the base, or it gets pulled off by other pieces. And you know, give it a couple of months time, especially if you're moving your miniatures around quite a lot, especially with war gaming like 40k, etc. You're putting them in carry cases, you're taking them out of carry cases, etc. They're going to get pulled and kind of moved around a little bit more than you want them to. I'll be interested to see how long this stuff lasts, as not just display, but actually as a functional miniature in a gaming scenario, and obviously being moved around for a bit. So, not got my hopes up for that, I'm not going to lie, but you never know, I might be surprised. But there again, as I say, you know, in the past, I've done some basing, but not really paid too much attention to it. It's only in the last sort of month or so, I suppose, where I feel like I'm at that level of painting now where I kind of need to start thinking about the bases, and not just the miniature itself. Now this stuff here, I'm going to presume is Battlefield Rocks. It appears to be some kind of tree bark. Let's have a kind of closer look at this. Yeah, it feels and smells very much like some kind of wood. I'm not knocking it at all. If it looks good, it looks good. As well, I mean, previously doing my own basing with various materials that you kind of find around in the park and on your walks and stuff, I've used actual slate before on bases, and it just makes them a whole bunch heavier than they need to be. So if you can get away with it looking good and not actually being a rock, then yeah, definitely go for it. But again, when we do another video, and we actually go through putting these things on some bases, testing them out, painting them up, seeing what they look like, seeing how the paint sticks to them, and just kind of the general aesthetic of them after they've actually been finished, it would be interesting to see what the pros and the cons are of the finished product. And not finally, I think we're on the second to last one, we're looking at these little grass tufts. I was really interested by these because I saw these, and this was kind of what made me buy the set, if I'm honest. You know, I thought I might as well buy a set rather than just buying individual things. So these are the grass tufts. As you can see, they look like they may be self-adhesive. I'm not 100% sure. They come on this kind of clear paper there that you normally get with like decal sheets or stickers, you know. So I want to say they may be soft adhesive, but of course if they're not, that's not a problem. We have the basing glue. But these look really neat. They're obviously some kind of synthetic material, I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, I'm just looking at these, I'd say they're probably a bit too big for 1/72 scale miniatures. However, anything maybe 148 and up, I think maybe even 148 is a push, but definitely 135, going up to 132nd, and then anything above, really, that would look good. Army Painter, I think, and I don't know this, I'm kind of ignorant on this front, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that they aim specifically at gaming miniatures, which obviously come in a fairly specific range of scale, so it's not massively, you know, out of the world realm, sort of like 1/76 scale to 1/400s, etc. It's quite a, you know, finite amount of scale that gaming typically is, so I think that's why the stuff is kind of generally built to this size by them. Again, we'll experiment with these further in some more videos and be quite interested to see how it comes out. I've got my high hopes for these, I'm not going to lie, I've got real high hopes for these. I think they'll look the balls, but then again, it could be crap, but you won't know until you tried. Now, no, this isn't what you think it is. Not Peruvian marching powder, no, this is the snow, and it kind of looks like, yeah, it the sugar substitute. I can't remember the name of it. I want to say stevia or stevia. It looks and feels like it in the packet. It's quite heavy actually. So open. Just dip my finger in. I mean, it's sticky already. There you go. Can't really see it again. Apologies for the camera and the lighting there. It's more like sand actually. It's not as sticky as it is sand, light sand. It could well be. I do apologise, my ignorance for these materials, because I just don't use them. I've not got to that level, as I say, previously painting Tamiya kits and stuff, not doing diorama or any basis for them at all, purely painting them for display purposes. I've never really used a basing. I did maybe about 10-12 years ago when I was first doing 40k, but I've not really done it since, so this is all new to me. Again, please, if you have any pointers, any advice, if you've done this before, if you do it often, please put your comments in the video, and, you know, shout me out, please. You know, I'm never scared of criticism of any kind, particularly as long as it's creative, or creative as possible. But I'd be really intrigued to hear your guys' comments on this, because this is something that I've not worked with before particularly, and not into this degree of actually buying a basing set and buying basing materials. I remember being about, you know, 13 years old and going into the one of the cupboards in my parents' kitchen and pulling out a handful of cat litter, using that on my 40k bases to look like rocks. So I thought it looked good at the time, but then again, I was only, you know, 12-13 years old. So please guys, if you've got any other thoughts, any other materials that you use or you source from in the wild, potentially in natural areas, or you buy from, please put in the comments, give a shout. I'll try them and I might put them in another video. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned, because in a couple of days time I'm going to be doing another video putting these on some bases and kind of giving them the real test, see what they look like. I'm going to experiment with 40k. I've got some Space Marines I'm working on at the moment, some Astartes for Dark Angels, and I'm also working on a Hanamag and a Tiger tank as well. So we're going to maybe put those in a diorama, see what we can come up with, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and as I say, comments are always welcome, and if you've got any pointers and any advice, please do share. Thank you. Bye bye.